Good morning. Welcome back to Breakfast with the Bishop. This is Bishop Gary. Hope you all had a tremendous Mother's Day a couple weeks back. Hope you all had a good week last week. Pray that you all have a good week this week. Every week, every day should be a good day when you're serving the Lord. Even a bad day with God is a better day than being crashed and trashed in the world. I want to run right to the scriptures and give you a word of encouragement in the book of Psalms in the 55th chapter and verse 16. It says, "As for me, I will call upon God," and I like this part of the verse, "and the Lord will save me." Now, I've been saved since 1973, but what it means there in the Hebrew, I can't quote the Hebrew word, but it's tav or vat, something like that. And it means to deliver, save, redeem, take you out of every type of situation. But the Hebrew being a picture language, the picture is that you're in a dark place, a hole, a war, a famine, a sickness, a fast moving river, and you can't swim. But you're in that place, and He can save you. He can somehow makes a way to get you out of it. And I like that because approaching 73, I've been in a lot of scrapes in my life, military and in various things. And as I said, had the widowmaker, atrial fibrillation, artificial hips. It's been a whole menagerie of problems. And yet the Lord has saved me through it all. And I'm able to sit here today and say, I love you, God bless you, the Lord be with you, and all of that stuff. Because when I cried out, He saved me. As for me, I will call upon God, and the Lord will save me. Evening and morning and at noon will I pray and cry aloud, and He'll hear my voice. I'm just ministering today a couple of verses of comfort for you. Don't be afraid to ask God. Someone may say out there, well, I've asked Him. Ask again. Well, I've asked Him 2 or 3 times. There was a guy in the book of Kings named Elijah, the prophet, and he looks at his servant and he says, go look out there at the sky, and it would be looking to the west, and go check it out and see if there's clouds, because I hear the abundance of rain. I smell rain. Well, the servant goes and looks, and of course he doesn't see anything but just hot desert. There's nothing. He said, sir, there's not a cloud in the sky. And Elijah won't take that for an answer. I hope you're hearing me with a little deeper sense than just what I'm saying. And he says, go look again. Well, the man goes back and looks, and guess what? There's nothing there. He's not seeing anything. He's just hot, staring into that western sun. And he comes back and said, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but there's nothing there. And he says, wait. Go look again. And he said, hey, I would you please go look? Oh, yes, I'll obey. You're the master. And he goes and looks 3 or 4 more times, 5 times. And he comes back, and he's exhausted from just running out of that little cave or butte where they are in the shade out of the heat. He's got to climb up and look out over the hillside. And it's not a lot of work, but on a hot day, I'm sure he was worked up, having to go every time he comes back, he has to go again. And the 5th time, he don't want to go, but he goes. And he said, as I've said 4 times before, there is nothing there. How many feel like that in your life sometimes? You've asked God, and there's just nothing there. But in your spirit, you just feel like there is something there. And he says, hey, go look again. And he goes the 6th time. And of course, if you've read the scripture, there's nothing there. And he comes back and says, well, I hate to disappoint you, but it's the same old. There's just nothing. And Isaiah said, listen, would you go look one more time? Just for me. So he goes. And he comes back. He can't believe his eyes. He said, I see a cloud. And he said, it's like a man's hand up there. But there's just that one cloud. And he said, okay, get your drink of water, cool off, and then go run tell King Ahab. Now this is the Parson translation. Go polish your chariot, O king, because if you're going to need to have it clean, this water is coming. We're going to have an abundance of rain. And so on that seventh time that he looked, it happened. My point is, don't give up on God. Just keep praying. I had the widowmaker. I don't know how many times I cried out, Lord, I don't want to die. I wasn't scared. I was a Christian if that's what he wanted. I can't, change anything. But I said, if it's possible, Lord, if there's any way. Just like Jesus prayed in Gethsemane. If there's any other way to do this, miracle, healing, you might want to respond to it, Lord, because I'm gone if you don't. And it's okay. But I'd sure like to be around with, I love my wife very much in the church, and I don't feel like my business is done on earth, and all that stuff. And I prayed morning, noon. Actually, that means pray all the time. Every chance I got, I was praying. Nurses in there sticking stuff into me, and I appreciated everything they did. But I prayed. And you know what? I don't know if it was the 7th time or the 100th time or the 4th time, but he answered my prayer, and I walked out of there. But the next verse says, he has delivered my soul in peace from the battle that was against me, for there were many with me. I want to tell you today, in the angelic, unseen world where Dad and Mom and all of them live, there's people over there praying for you, caring for you, loving you, taking care of you, being with you, doing all that stuff. And on this side, you need to know, from COVID